Always were a smooth one, weren't you?
I'm at...
Hello, Your Majesty. Bet you won't find a better deal than here in my shop.
Congratulations, you've made a friend. In addition to being jolly good company, friends can give each other gifts and even discounts at shops that they own.
At your orders, sir.
How are you, Your Majesty?
Greetings.
Your Highness, please accept this gift.
My theory is
At your command.
The King
Your
of
Majesty.
Albion. Please take
Has
this
returned.
as a token of my esteem. Hello, Your Majesty.
It's more beautiful than I dared to imagine. And heavy, too. Our experts estimate it's worth a small fortune. Of course, now the question becomes, what do you wish to do with this fine stone? Shall I deposit the money from the sale into the treasury? Or perhaps you would prefer the funds were channeled into, let us say, a more personal account? It is almost too perfect to waste on anything as trivial as protecting the kingdom, wouldn't you say, Your Majesty? A truly selfless act. I am constantly in awe of your generous and noble spirit. Putting the safety of your people before your own reward. Bravo, Your Majesty. Bravo. You have shown yourself to be a most talented monarch. The treasury is positively overflowing. You might even consider borrowing a little for yourself. Of course, it never hurts to earn even more. Who knows what the future will bring? With that in mind, I would like to discuss the thorny issue of child benefits, which were abolished under your brother's rule. There are vocal elements within the community who are clamoring for us to bring it back. In the interests of the Treasury, and of the long-term welfare of the people, I have a counter-proposal. It's somewhat radical, but rather brilliant, if you don't mind me saying. We charge people for every child they have. This would keep the population low, but more importantly, the Treasury high. Is it really fair to bring new life into such an uncertain world? And won't that gold go to help the children who have already been born? Of course, you may also choose to keep Logan's policies. The matter is entirely in your hands. Very well, Your Majesty. The breeders amongst the rabble will be ecstatic, I'm sure. Perhaps you are considering making a personal donation to the Treasury to make up for the shortfall. It is entirely your decision, as always. Shall we proceed with the rest of your appointments? Here is the royal agenda for the day. As you can see, you have 2 audiences in the throne room to begin. I've heard rumors that Reva's latest proposals are both scandalous and delicious. It should be most entertaining.
Everything all right, Your Majesty?
Wow! Can't believe it's you! Ah, Your Majesty. Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, the King. This hearing concerns the future of the Bowerstone Shelter and Orphanage. Paige will speak for the disenfranchised people of the city. Reva will dispute her cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, the shelter has long been the only refuge for the homeless, the poor, and the orphaned. And until we can change the whole world for the better, it will continue to be their only hope of survival. Isn't it time we held out a helping hand to those who need it most? The shelter is underfunded and the building has fallen into disrepair. Invest in the shelter and orphanage, and perhaps we can begin to create a better future for Albion's forgotten people.
I could not agree more. The city and its people are in dire need. But it is not charity they require. It is love. I propose we use this dilapidated building to help both them and ourselves, for love and money have always gone hand in hand. Let us inaugurate Bowerstone's first brothel.
A brothel?
Brothel, bordello, whorehouse. The name is unimportant. What matters is that the people get the love they need, and we get their money.
Yes, it's for your majesty to decide. Refurnish the shelter and orphanage, or convert it into a house of ill repute.
The poor of this city have suffered enough. We will renovate the shelter and orphanage.
The Bowerstone shelter shall be refurbished at the Crown's expense.
Thank you, Your Majesty. You've done the right thing.
As you wish, Your Majesty. The parentless tykes and their destitute friends shall have a palace to call their own. Are you a beggar, too lazy to own your own clothes? Or perhaps an orphan, aching for a bowl of gruel? Then come to Riva Industries Shelter and Orphanage, where you'll find food, beds, clothes, and even new parents. No matter who you are, we care, even if you don't deserve it.
Today, you will deal with a pressing environmental issue: the disposal of the city's waste. Riva will offer his proposal. A member of the Morningwood community will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, I'm sure you will have noticed a certain aroma permeating the city of late, even more nauseating than usual. I fear it is not merely the stench of the underprivileged. Bowerstone is beginning to have a serious waste disposal issue. We require an inexpensive and efficient solution, and I believe I have hit upon one. Now, currently, part of our waste is being disposed of in the Morningwood Marsh. With very little effort, Riva Industries could redirect all of the Bowerstone sewer system to flow directly into that region. As you know, it's a desolate place with no financial or cultural value to the kingdom. There could be little discussion as to the logic of this decision.
Hang on, this isn't right. Not right at all. We're all children of the soil. It's in our hearts, it's in our blood. It's under our fingernails. What I mean is, we're all equal when it comes to dirt, like. From dirt we come, to dirt we go, yes? We who reside in Morningwood have as good a claim to being clean as anyone. And what of Morningwood itself? Its nature spirits, its woodland elves, and water fairies. Do they not deserve freedom from pollution too? Don't destroy paradise with your urban dregs, man. Channel the waste. Be one with the cycle of life. You have all these, like, factories and stuff, don't you? Turn one into a, what do you call it? One of those things, a sewage reclamation facility. Right on.
What shall you decide, Your Majesty?
Morningwood is to be left unspoiled. We will find other ways to deal with Bowerstone's sewage problem.
The king has spoken. Morningwood shall not be used as a waste site. The sanitation committee will look into safer alternatives.
Groovy. You are like a majestuous eagle, Your Majesty. You are in touch with your inner innards. Granny Nature thanks you from, like, the bottom of her heart.
A pity. I must admit I was rather looking forward to breathing fresh air, but I'm sure Your Majesty knows best. There is nothing as important as the health and hygiene of our citizens. As such, Riva Industries is delighted to announce the opening of the Bowerstone Sewage Recycling Facility, because there can be no affluence without effluence.
The day is almost over, Your Majesty. Only one more appointment left. Page has requested a meeting in the old rebel headquarters. How very cloak and dagger. I wonder what she wants.
Hello, Your Majesty.
Sir.
Greetings, my lord. Wahey! Woohoo!
Wahey! Yay!
It's not every day a king walks into the rebel headquarters. You've changed the world since we last stood here.
You had a lot to do with it, Paige.
But we still haven't changed things enough. Without Logan's troops, crime is becoming a serious problem. There's one man in particular, Nigel Ferret. He's making this city his own. Every criminal in Bowerstone reports to him now. He's too powerful for me to deal with, and he's not easy to find. But I know how you can get to him. Good. Kid went undercover with a gang of robbers and found out their plans. They're going to strike the tavern in Bowerstone Market. If you get there in time, you can stop the raid. And at least one of those thugs must know where Ferret is holed up.
If you cooperate, you won't get hurt. But if you give us any trouble, we'll kill you. Now, just so you know we mean business, I'd like one of you to give us trouble, so we can kill him as an example to the rest. Who's it gonna be then? Oh look, we have a volunteer. The king, no less. Have at him, fellas.
Oh, good shot!
Well done, mate.
It is no longer advantageous for any of us to frequent the hideout in Industrial. Presently, I shall inaugurate a new centre of operations in Bowerstone Market. You've been provided with a key which will permit access. Please endeavour to prevent its transference to an unauthorised individual.
Yeah!
Thank you, Your Majesty.
And I'd say, hooray!
Yes, go on!
Wonderful news. They've turned up.
Greetings, my lord. That new sewage
Your
treatment
Majesty.
centre.
You're a
Pleased with lady, Your Majesty.
Want to work there?
Perhaps better than Albion deserves.
You honour us, Your Majesty.
What can I do for you, then?
Greetings, my lord.
Yes, me again.
Greetings, Your Majesty.
I want you to have this. This is for you. Darling,
Please, Your
you're
Majesty,
too generous.
can I have your autograph?
At your command?
At your service, my king.
How are you this fine day, sir?
The big cheese!
Glad to know kids can still find ways to amuse themselves.
You again? It does tend to obviate the entire objective of maintaining a secret hideout if your enemies can simply infiltrate whenever they've the inclination. Lads, perform the specific services for which I employ you. Expeditiously.
Huh?
Kill him! Fast!
You made a big mistake. There's more.
You're not supposed to shoot back!
Smack his head until he stops.
I can't live one more day in this cell.
I believe I can state with relative confidence that your efforts are in vain. Even should it transpire that you vanquish my associates, this door is completely impenetrable. In addition to which, this cell contains a secret egress through which I may abscond whenever I desire. Meanwhile, my compatriots shall brutalize your person.
Let's run! You fancy that?
You haven't lost your touch. I'm surprised his men were foolish enough to fight you.
Now, truth be told, my superlative intellect notwithstanding, it would appear this is not, in fact, the specific cell I so confidently referenced earlier. The one with the secret exit has 2 beds. All right, you have prevailed, Your Majesty. I concede. However, I entreat you to entertain a certain proposal.
You have nothing to offer, Ferret. It's over.
Ah, that pronouncement is objectively devoid of merit. I happen to have on my person a substantial quantity of currency. Let me go free, and the money is yours.
As far as I'm concerned, you can stay in there and rot. But that's for the king to decide.
You royal miscreant! This grievous malefaction shall be rewarded with equally grievous retribution.
The treasury is simply bursting with wholesome, nutritious gold. I sometimes spend hours staring at this glorious accomplishment. Our wealth surpasses all expectations. I must congratulate you, Your Majesty. But the kingdom demands your attention once more. The time has come to make a decision on Albion's drinking laws. Under Logan's rule, our citizens are restricted in the amount of alcohol they can purchase per day. As you can imagine, this has proved a rather unpopular measure. And yet many respected members of the community think the law does not go far enough. They would like alcohol consumption wholly abolished among the commoners. They feel, rather reasonably, that it leads to improper behavior and raucous public spectacles. These concerned nobles are willing to pay handsomely for the change in policy. Meanwhile, the commoners themselves would like the restrictions completely lifted, claiming they infringe upon their freedom and their rights. You cannot please everyone, Your Majesty, but you must make a decision. Very good. Perhaps this is not the time to be implementing radical new measures. It will give both the gentry and the rabble something to complain about. Who knows? It may take their minds off their impending doom. Let us move on to other matters, Your Majesty. You have a busy day in the throne room ahead. Samuel, the head of the Brightwall Academy, is ready to plead his case. I sincerely hope he isn't after a handout, though I'm sure Master Reaver will be the voice of reason, as always.
Nothing to report, Your Majesty.
Yay!
Ladies and gentlemen, the king.
Here he comes. There'll be a judgment soon. Anyone want to take bets on the out?
Today you decide on the status of the Brightwall Academy, Your Majesty. Samuel will speak for the town and its scholars. Riva will dispute his cause.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, it was your father who opened the doors to Albion's greatest seat of learning. Under his rule, knowledge and culture flourished, and so did the people of Brightwall. I ask only that you return to the wisdom of those days. Your brother closed the academy down, but it is in your hands to restore it.
There is no greater proponent of the arts than myself, and I celebrate knowledge in all its forms. But our people are frightened and confused. The last thing they need is knowledge. Allow them the benefit of ignorance. Let only those who are truly prepared make use of the academy. The elite of our society will pay handsomely to indulge in erudition.
But only the rich will be able to afford to learn.
Precisely. Why give wisdom away when one can charge for it?
What do you wish to do, Your Majesty?
The Brightwall Academy will be open to all who wish to learn.
The Brightwall Academy shall be reopened, and Albion will once again have a free centre of learning.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty. This is the start of a new day for us all.
Very well. I will make the arrangements at once. Stimulate your intellect in the newly reopened Brightwall Academy. Suckle the knowledge from the land's greatest minds and avail yourself of the best library ever assembled. Everyone, from the most impoverished genius to the wealthiest idiot, is welcome. Brightwall Academy. Whatever you earn, it's the place to learn.
The court summons Page and Riva. The matter before you today is the future of Bower Lake. Riva will offer his proposal. Page will stand against him.
You may speak.
Your Majesty, a recent survey of Bower Lake has found that the waterbed is rich in valuable metals. Now, as amusing as it would be to make workers hold their breath as they mine these resources, I fear it would be impractical. Instead, we have no choice but to dam the river and drain the lake of all water. Once that is done, we will have a ready-made quarry, ripe for the plucking. It will be a pity to disfigure the landscape so close to my former home, but it is a sensible course of action in light of our current needs.
Bower Lake is the last piece of natural beauty remaining in Bowerstone. It belongs to our history and should be protected. Don't take it away from us. You'll be taking away part of this city's soul with it.
Oh, really?
Now that we've finally freed the people of this city, are we going to destroy the one place they can find peace?
The decision is yours to make, Your Majesty.
Page is right. We must protect our natural resources. Bower Lake is to be left untouched.
The king has ruled. Bower Lake's natural beauty is hereby protected by order of the crown.
Thank you. Let's show the world Albion is worth defending.
Is a pretty view worth more than a treasury full of gold? I bow to your greater wisdom. As someone whose home has overlooked the resplendent Bower Lake, I am pleased to declare the official protection of this natural wonder. May its water drown anyone who doesn't appreciate its beauty.
I trust the court was not too dull today. In any case, I'm confident your final task will be most enjoyable. A loyal and wealthy member of our community has offered to make a sizable donation to our treasury. Her only request is that you go to Millfields to make the collection in person. A perfect chance to stretch your legs, Your Majesty.
Look, I know where the thief is. He fled into the woods.
Madam, I understand you want to recover what you've lost, but those woods are simply too dangerous. It would be suicide to enter them without combat experience, or training, or skill.
I don't want to enter them. I want you to.
Right. I was talking about me.
Oh, just forget it. Ah, Your Majesty, it's such an honor to have you here. If only fate hadn't conspired to make me look like a fool. I so wanted to make a contribution to the noble cause. What's the use of a priceless heirloom if we're all going to perish in who knows what frightful way? I had taken the statuette out of the family vault, ready for your visit, only for a common thief to take it in broad daylight. Can you believe it, Your Majesty? The thief ran into the woods, and naturally the soldiers are too scared to follow. Why must the uneducated be so superstitious? But you know no such fear, do you? Find the villain, Your Majesty. He has stolen more than a statue. He takes with him the future of our kingdom. Beware the woods, Your Majesty. The soldiers may be superstitious, but there's no denying dangerous beasts lurk within. Good luck. I know you will succeed.
Welcome to the sanctuary.
Looking for the statue, Your Majesty. Follow the White Barbary.
you monster. Prepare to meet your... Oh, I'm so sorry. For a moment there, I thought you were a Belverine. Damn things are always trying to get through our defences. We burn silver nitrate in those lamps to keep them out. Kills them pretty quick if they hang around for too long. If a lamp goes out, well, I don't like to think what might happen then. One went out just recently, but we got it lit again fast. The man responsible, this bloke Connor, got punished. Severely. Before he disappears into the forest, he tells us there's gonna be a reckoning. He's probably in 25 different stomachs right now. That's my reckoning. You can come on out, everyone. It's safe.
Yay!
Hello, sir.
My lord.
Your Majesty, I've been expecting you. Been through the village, have you? Charming hamlet. It's full of warm, wonderful people who'll give you the shirt off their back and condemn you to death for one simple mistake. Anyone can fall asleep on watch. You exile him into this forest and call it justice. But enough about that. You're here for that statue. It's quite a remarkable thing. It did everything the legend said it would. And now I don't need it anymore. It's funny how things change. So if you want to take it back to that prig in Millfields, it's yours. Nearly free of charge. All I ask is a small favor. Destroy those silver nitrate lanterns. Then the village will get a taste of justice. The choice is yours. And it's a simple one. How simple? If you decline, my brothers will kill you. Ah, well, I suppose it was too much to hope for. Still, your choice won't save the village. Now that I'm a leader of the pack, we've got some brains to go with our brawn. We'll lose a few of the weaker members, but we'll deal with those lanterns on our own. In the meantime, killing you will be a good way to, shall we say, get the blood flowing. Stronger than I imagined, Your Majesty, but not strong enough. Prepare yourself for death.
Thank you. Thank you. You've saved us from certain destruction. We're in your debt. You'll always be welcome here, should you wish to return. Connor had this on him. It looks like a Belverine. It's yours if you want it.
That's better than Albion deserves.
Hello, stranger.
You're
I don't believe it.
They're
dead.
You've been on some grand quests.
You're back. Did you find the thief? Did you recover the statue?
Of course he did. He is the king, and thus infallible. If you will hand the statue to me, Your Majesty, I will endeavor to appraise it.
You found it? Oh, I can barely contain my tears. Oh, excuse me, Your Majesty. I can't let you see me this way. And please, make good use of it.
Nobles, always so melodramatic. As for this little item, it is every bit as valuable as I hoped it would be. The profit shall make a welcome addition to the treasury. Unless, of course, well, it is your statue now. You could always opt to keep the proceeds for yourself and administer them as you see fit. What do you wish to do, my king? A magnanimous gesture indeed. Your subjects are lucky to be ruled by one so giving. With the fatidic attack not far away now, it fills one's heart with confidence and supreme satisfaction to see the treasury filled to the brim. I have taken to sleeping beneath the gold and can report nothing but restful nights. As for today's first order of business, you may have heard about the dire situation the kingdom's economy finds itself in. Logan's policies always kept our cities on the edge of bankruptcy, and the panic caused by the fast-approaching darkness has only exacerbated the situation. I'm afraid the only way to stop this slide into ruin is to bail out Bowerstone's financial institutions. The people are looking at you to save them from economic disaster, but remember that doing so may condemn them to a much darker and bloodier fate. What shall we do, Your Majesty? You are such a giving, magnanimous person. Very well, I will make the arrangements. Life will be easier for your subjects for a while, but the treasury will not easily recover. I only hope we haven't thrown away our chances of survival. Of course, you could always replenish our gold supplies by donating from your personal funds. Shall we proceed with today's agenda? Kalin, the representative for the Auroran people, has requested an audience with you. The court awaits in the throne room.
Ah, hello.